feel like it's been a while since I sat down in front of this camera to do a video review. These have been out for a few weeks now, and I bought them a few weeks ago. So the Take a Layer collection is basically products that you can build up, layer, like the name says, so you can get different effects, I guess, from like the pigmentation, because these are really, like, depending on how much you put, they can get stronger in pigmentation. So it's one of those buildable formulas, color formulas. Obviously there's a tint. I mean, we all know what the tint is, so I'll swatch those later. The main focus of this video is going to be the multi-pots, which I think are the ones that people are most interested in. I really like the packaging. At first I thought the packaging was really strange, because I would have preferred maybe, and I probably still would prefer, maybe something that you could see the product inside, so you don't have to, like, I mean, they're clearly showing the color based on the photograph that's on the top of the packaging, because obviously the bottle is wearing that color. And to be honest, it's pretty aesthetic, but yeah, I don't know. After a while though, you do get used to the pictures, and so you kind of remember which ones are which. The tints though are a little bit harder, because you have to like really look up close at them. But anyway, the multi-pots are pretty much like just large cream shadows or cream blush. They're more on the matte side. They're not really, if you've ever used like cream blushes, a lot of them can be really watery, or there's some that are more creamy than others, but this form is quite thick, like it's quite hard in there, but the formula is it's more on the dry side, and you'll see, I'll swatch all of them, but even just like tapping your finger in there, you get a lot of like pigment on your finger. And so maybe you can see from here, even just tapping, you already get a really strong deposit of color. And one of the things is with this, obviously I recommend using these on non-powdered skin. Basically the same way you would use a cream blush, right? As you can see, if it's sheared out, it's like you get this really like soft color, but obviously you can build it up more. I never find myself needing to like dig in there, because the pigment is just so strong. You can keep building it up, but yeah, I don't think I've ever, probably for the lips, I don't think I would ever put this much on my face. And like the name suggests, multi-pot, you can actually use this wherever on your face. You can use them on your lips as like a matte sort of soft lip color, which a lot of 3CE lip products are. They're known for like the really soft matte lip colors in lip products. And being that this is a product you can use all over your face, including your eyes, I think it makes the most sense for them to go with more of a matte formula rather than like a really creamy, glossy sort of formula, because I don't know how that would fare well like on your eyes or like your cheeks. For me, what I've noticed is that on my cheeks, they last pretty much all day. I don't find that especially because the form is quite hard, it's not like a soft powder where your skin kind of just absorbs it or eats it up, or like it just evaporates. It kind of stays on the cheeks. On my cheeks and my lips today, I have Common Time. This one. It's kind of like a clementine shade. On the lips, I don't really like using it on my lips, to be honest with you. They don't last as long as like a regular matte lipstick or like a velvet lip tint or something like that. At least for me, I find that I end up just biting it off after not even an hour. Of course, if you're the type of person that doesn't mind retouching, or you're very like good about not like moving your lips too much, I think you'll be fine. It's okay if you're not moving your lips or doing anything with them. It's just that for me, I'm always like biting my lips, like you guys know. So it's not gonna last as long for me. But as like a lip product, it's great in terms of like pigmentation, because like you saw in my hand, that's pretty much what you need on your lips as well. On the eyes, they act like a lot of other cream shadows, but what I find with cream shadows is a lot of them tend to set so that they last on your eye, kind of like maybe eye primers and things like that. But these, they kind of just dry to a powdery finish. So if your eyelids are like normal, if you have normal skin or dry skin, you'll be fine. But if you have oily lids, you're probably gonna crease, especially if eyes like mine. Like you're gonna see right here, I just applied this prior to filming, but it's already started to crease. I knew I was gonna just wash my face after this video, so I didn't bother putting primer. So yeah, that's something to definitely keep in mind. Honestly, I think the whole point of this collection is convenience and being able to just take them with you. I do love the fact that I have all these colors, and if I'm traveling, I can just pick the colors that I want, and I can use them all over my face, right? So for my cheeks, this is my favorite brush to apply it with. It's the Real Techniques contour brush. It's like a little bulb, I guess. Is that the right word? It's very bulbous, not too stiff, to where I feel like it's rubbing off my foundation, but it's fluffy enough to kind of blend and apply the product at the same time. Literally, just dip it a few times and start applying because especially if your skin is not powdered, it really sticks to the foundation. For my lips, obviously just fingers, or you can use a lip brush, a synthetic lip brush. And for my eyes, I like to use kind of like these synthetic flat eyeshadow brushes to kind of smooth it on, and then I'll use like a really fluffy synthetic brush to blend out the edge at least. Or again, use your fingers, which is I honestly more oftentimes than not, I'll just use my fingers because it's really I just dip and kind of just like pat it. All the colors are really like most 3C colors that I feel like they're all very juicy and vibrant and pigmented. And the thing is, I think they would suit actually all sorts of skin types, and it's gonna sound really ironic because their little controversy they had with the nail polish. But I actually think these would look amazing on even the deepest of skin tones because the deeper your skin is, when it comes to things like colors for the lips and cheeks, or overall in general, you want the colors to be more vibrant and deeper in color. So colors like this, I think, would look amazing on dark skin. And of course, you know, depending on your skin tone, it's gonna give you sort of different look. And even on the model that I swatched these on, my friend, his skin is a little bit tanner than mine. And I noticed I actually kind of prefer the way they look on him a little bit more than me. For me, I have to go way more light-handed. But for him, I can kind of put a little bit more, but it'll still look more natural on him. For me, I have to be, again, very careful. Like, this is almost nothing. But the thing is, I feel like a lot as eyeshadows, I don't think I would use, like, I would never use this on my eyes. I were to see these as eyeshadows, I feel like I could really only wear maybe Diotama, this one, and maybe Cabbage Rose. But even Cabbage Rose I feel is pushing it because this would look like an eyeshadow I would wear, right? I don't think I would wear an eyeshadow like this on a daily basis. I'm sure there are some people that would love that, but for me, I wouldn't. I think you'd have to wear it with other things like maybe darker shades to kind of contour the lids and add definition, because on my eyes, I feel like it would just look like too much. That's why I kind of look at these as sort of just like cheek and lip products rather than like all over. Not necessarily that, but I just don't really use them on my eyes, basically. Like I said, if I were to use them on my eyes, I would probably just stick to colors like this. Cabbage Rose, Hollyhock, and Diotama. Diotama? This is Hollyhock. It's like a nudie pink, but it's kind of bright. This one is Cabbage Rose. Kind of like the last one, but a little bit more brown. So I feel like it's a little bit more wearable for my skin tone at least, because I'm quite warm in skin tone. This one is Diotama. It's kind of an orangey beige shade. Yeah, I think it's great for everyday. Honestly, like these three colors, I kind of swatched first because I feel like they're the most wearable for me. Then we have Common Time. Like I said, it's kind of like a clementine shade, orangey, a little bit, like a very slight brownish tinge to it. Then we have Morning Skinny, which actually, just like the model on here, I think would look really pretty on the eyes if you put some near the lash line and really fade it out and add mascara and eyeliner and a little bit of highlight in the inner corner. I think that would look really pretty. So again, you can use these on the eyes, but I feel like they look better when you obviously add all the extra bits, because especially for the brighter colors, your eyes can get kind of lost in all those colors, so you have to add definition back into them with mascara or eyeliner. Then we have Scarlet Red. It's like a bluish red, but very slightly pulling orange. It's a Scarlet Red. This one I would really probably just use on my lips, maybe cheeks if you put it like the most, like maybe if you mix with foundation, or you like the lightest like sheer wash on the cheeks, or if you're obviously if your skin is deeper, you can put a little bit more. But that one I feel like is even on the model. I don't think I put on his cheeks. I think I only put on his lips. I keep calling him model. His name is Songyeon. Last but not least is Primula. It's a really pretty aubergine, which is just a fancy way of saying eggplant. Actually, no, not really. That'll be, oh my god, what's the color? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's like it's a purple shade with a really strong pink undertone. I think this would be really cute for like EGOT makeup. That's kind of how I applied it on Songyeon, like kind of around the eyes. But honestly, any of these, you can see when you shear them out, the color's a little bit different. So again, when you build them up, they're more intense, and when they're more sheer, they give you a little bit of a different vibe. So here's all 7 shades. Alright, because I didn't feel like swatching these on my face, I swatched them on my friend Songyeon. So handsome. Contacted him and he was nice enough to model for me for the cheeks and lips. So roll the clip. Now I do find that they kind of stain the skin a little bit, but not like an insane amount. So I guess it's a good thing for like long wearability, but they're not like tints, so they're not gonna stain the skin that much. Now the tints, let me like give you full on swatches of these. This is Most Orange, the one that I had on my lips. Actually, why don't I just swatch on my hand? I have enough space. Most Orange, extremely watery. They're like water, basically. Like super pigmented water. There's Inside Mauve. A wine color with like a strong red undertone. Then we have Spicy Red. Love this color. Actually, this one is very similar to Scarlet Red. I thought when you first look at it, you think like bluish red, but when you look closer, slight, especially when you shear it out, slight bit of an orange undertone. Then there's Fig Pink. It doesn't look like it would be a pink though. I still don't think it looks pink, but it's like an orange with like a pinky undertone. I guess I don't have that much space on my hands. Then we have Iron Red. Right there. I think out of all the reds, this has the most of an orange undertone to it. I don't know if you can see, but do you see how the tints are kind of bleeding into the fine lines of my hands? Now, let me reapply the one that I had, or maybe, should I use a different one? Let's try Spicy Red. With these specifically, to get that kind of layered look like the name is supposed to be, what I do is I take it on a Q-tip and kind of quickly, very quickly, rub this all over the lips. Like, do you see it's already super pigmented, even from that tiny bit? And then either I dip in again with a Q-tip, or I just go straight in. That is really strong. So even with the whole take a layer name on there, I feel like this is so pigmented that it's kind of hard to layer it. If you have trouble making like a lip gradient, one tip that I like to do, I learned this from Pony, is that put chapstick on first and then put the tint in the middle, and that will help you make that gradient a little bit more easy. If you want these to last longer, what you need to do is apply them on like dry lips with no lip balm on or chapstick. That way they really stain your lips. But with that, it's harder to create that gradient. I mean, I already have tint on right now, but like if you just pull it out right to touch up, and what I do is I kind of take off X because it's still too much. And I just, straight up. But you have to quickly like spread your lips around because it's so thin and watery, it absorbs like immediately. This is already too much. But it's weird because with these tints, they're so pigmented and they're just so pigmented. I'm surprised they don't actually last that long. On the description, it's like, oh, great for all day. But I found that whenever I wear these, I have to touch up. Again, I'm one of those people that's always biting my lips. But I thought because it's a tint, it's gonna stain the skin and not really, that wouldn't really matter. But I find it like completely disappears after like longer than the pots. Maybe like 2 hours or 3 hours. But like 생각보다, like more than I thought, they don't last as long. I personally don't mind touching up my lips, but if you're interested in these tints, expecting something that's really long wearing, depending on the type of person you are with the way you do your lip makeup, it could last long for you, it could not. For me, it doesn't last that long, or as long as I would want. I do find that I have to keep reapplying, because even now, you probably can't not see this on camera, but for me in person, I can see that. And by the way, do you see how creasy my eyes are getting now? So personally, the tints, I don't think they're completely necessary. I just have them because I'm a fan of 3C, so I'm willing to keep them. But if I were to recommend them to other people, I feel like there are other kind of better tints. Like in terms of like watery tints, they're not that bad, but there are cheaper ones out there with lots of other colors. Multipots, again, they're great, but you do have to work with them in a certain way. On the cheeks, they're totally fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with them on the cheeks. You just have to be careful about how you blend it and build it up on the cheeks. On the lips, if they were like lipsticks, they would just be okay lipsticks. If you have great, smooth, plump lips, you'll be fine. But if you have wrinkly lips like me, don't expect them to last that long. On the eyes, if you have oily lids or crepey or like lots of like folds on your eyes, use a primer. Otherwise, I think you'll be totally fine. Love all the colors. I think they're great from the fairest of skin tones to even the deepest of skin tones, personally, from what I think. And I think they're just really great for travel, especially when you don't want to put too many things in your bag. You just want something that you can use like all over. Again, if you put on my eyes, think about using eyeliner and mascara. So, sorry that review took forever to come out, but hope you found that okay. Follow Seongyeon on Instagram if you want. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!